Hey folks, it's E-Chip with Contentment. Just messing around out here today, making sure all of our small engines are good to go. This is for a pump. That's the plate compactor. I've already worked on an engine for another small tool we've got. Now I'm working on the garden tiller. I don't know if you can hear it, but here's our problem. It's a surge. Usually the surge is caused by some kind of clog in the fuel line. It's so, you know, when I shut these down for the season, I run all the fuel out of them and let them sit, so that I don't have any fuel sitting in there over the winter. But apparently there's something in there, so you know, maybe some old varnish or something. So I've let it run for about a half hour now, and the surge hasn't gone away. There is another step I could take, and that would be to pull the carburetor off and clean it, but I'm too lazy to do that. So I'm going to try this. I'll show you. Good old Berryman's B12. I try to keep a couple of cans of this stuff around all the time. Never know when you're going to need it, and you know, whenever I do a work on one of the vehicles or something like that, I'll pour some in the tank just to keep everything nice. We'll try some of this in the tank and see how it does. So now we'll just let it run, and hoping that Berryman's will get in there and clear up whatever's in there. So I'll tell you, these Predator engines, I don't know what it is, you know. Maybe I just have selective memory, but when I was growing up, I do not remember ever having problem, you know, like this, where you let it sit for a couple of months and then it just refuses to start, or it comes up or something like that. It seems to me, you know, whenever I went out to start a lawnmower or something like that, and of course we didn't have unleaded fuel then, we just had good old leaded regular fuel, stuck it in there, and it didn't matter how long it was sitting in the thing. That thing would run on, you know, probably chicken grease or something. But man, these new engines, they are really picky. Hard to start sometimes, and they're just a kind of a hassle. Even if I tried to, you know, set a schedule where I come out and start them up once a month, make sure they're all, you know, running good. And even then, even if I don't miss a month, it's still kind of a pain to get them to start. It's funny. I don't know what it is. Here's another little goodie that we picked up. Dumpy, our F600, has got an auxiliary tank, a 50-gallon auxiliary tank on it, but it's all rusted out and nasty, and I don't want to mess with it. There's a guy here locally who was getting rid of this. He gave it to me, and the inside is nice and clean, so I don't have to do any work to it to speak of, except I've got to find an auxiliary gauge to go with that sending unit up there, and we get this installed. It's just one of those days where we're, you know, tooling around, getting some stuff done around here as we approach fall and winter. So while I'm waiting, I thought I'd give you a little update on the Silver Streak. We've got a floor in, and kids were here a couple of weeks ago, so we set up a little place for them here, you know, while they were in town. Really rustic, but it worked. So we got the partition wall for the bathroom in, and the tub is in, and there'll be a toilet over there and a sink over here with a vessel type sink. Over here will be the all the controls. You see the wiring there for the solar and for the 110 electricity, all that stuff for the trailer. Really looking forward to see what this is going to be like. And then There'll be a queen-size bed here underneath that window, and the kitchen will begin right about at that window and go that way. Over here will be television and stereo that'll swivel both ways, and you know, some storage cabinetry, that kind of thing. And then in the front, we haven't decided, probably just going to go with a fold-out couch. You know, maybe a couple tables. I think over here, as part of the kitchen cabinetry, we'll just, you know, sort of bump it out a little bit and create a little table space there with a couple of stools. Really don't want to build this back the way it was. I mean, it was just, back in the day, it was just chock full of stuff. You know, this thing would sleep 6 people and all that. And the bathroom was much smaller, that kind of thing. We're really looking to open this up and have more room, you know, to enjoy it. Fewer people, okay, but you know, still, for those who do stay in here, it should be really nice. So we recently had some rain. We had just got through sealing the top of this trailer, and we still have water coming in the same spots that we thought we had sealed. So I think the answer is, this is going to be a park model anyway. It's never going on the road again. So I think the thing for us to do would be to, and I think we were planning on doing this anyway, build a permanent cover over it once we get it parked where it's supposed to be. And then that way we don't have to worry about leaks or anything. It's better. It'll keep the sun from beating down on this aluminum skin and heating it up. It'll help in that regard, and you know, it'll keep the rain out, that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll show you the progress on this as we go. So you can see we've got the front wall framing of the house up, and boy, that was tough to get up. This is all 2x6 framing plus 2x12 headers plus glue lam columns for the front here. This here is one piece. That's a glue lam column, and boy, was all of this very heavy. And it was just Robert and I. We did have a friend come over one day. He was borrowing the backhoe, so before he took the backhoe away, he helped us, you know, with the backhoe to get the center section lifted. That center section lifted, and so boy, we were grateful for his help, because these walls are heavy, and that wall has almost fallen a couple of times, you know, almost fell a couple times before we were able to get it braced up. Didn't want to see that. So glad he was here to help. But next steps are to get the sill plates installed here for the straw bale walls. I got to go all the way around the perimeter here, sort of a U shape. After that, there will be bucks that go up that frame windows and doors, and we have to get the box beams built. Box beams are beams that go on top of the straw bales once the bales are stacked. We got to get that done. It is harvest season for barley straw here in the valley, so this timing should be just right, where we get all that done just in time for the barley straw to come in, and then we can just get the bales and stack them. And hopefully, by my calculations, it's going to be about 200 bales to do this house, and hopefully we'll just, you know, have that done no problem in about a day or maybe a weekend. We can have those stacked, I hope, I think, and then you put the box beams on top, and then we can put the roof on. And so I'm really looking forward to this. Our goal is to have this, to have the bale walls stacked, to have the roof on and the roof covering on it, and then to just wrap the bales for the winter and get the framing onto the front of the house there. Sorry, not the framing, the sheathing, and then be able to button it up for the winter. That's about that's gonna be a lot of work for just, you know, me and sometimes Robert, and maybe some occasional help. So that's plenty to do between now and I think we've got until probably Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas, before we have to stop for the season. So that's the goal. There are our composite beams for the roof. Got a whole bunch of them back under that black tarp, under this blue tarp. They're everywhere. About 1,500 linear feet of beams that we built for the roof on this house. So I don't think we showed you, I think we just showed you the ends in prior videos, but this is what they look like completed, full length. Now we are going to have to add some web stiffeners every 4 feet as we go here, but I will do that as we install them, because we're going to have to make some cuts on these things, and I know I'm going to have to place some stiffeners on the ends too. So we'll just do that then. So another thing I want to get done today is I got to pull down that old turbine. We've had videos on this thing before. It never really worked well. If anybody wants it, they're willing to pay the shipping, they can have it. It's a 24 volt, and you know, it will work, but I don't know if you guys, if any of our listeners, watchers, if any of our viewers are interested in it, let us know. If you want to pay the shipping, we'll send it to you. You can have it. But it might be a fun way to experiment or whatever. But yeah, it hasn't worked for us. And another thing we got to get done today is to clean out the gray water system. This is not septic. This is just gray water. It comes from, you know, the bathtub and stuff like that. But every couple of years we do need to clean it out, because while you don't get, you know, like solids from the bathroom, from the toilet or anything in it, you still get hair and grease and, you know, stuff like that, and it tends to ball things up in there, so you got to clean it out. We'll just pump it directly over on top of our compost piles, humanure compost, and that way it's not all over the landscape. But yeah, we got to get a pump out here and pump that out, clean it out. All right, so I think we got the tiller motor straightened out. I ran it for another half hour. It sort of straightened itself out. If it does it again, I'll pull the carburetor, but I don't need that again for a while. So yeah, we recently, regarding these small engines, you know, so like I said, you know, growing up, I don't remember having this much trouble with small engines. I mean, yeah, there were times when they wouldn't start and stuff like that. All right, so this is the underside of that tank. There is a little bit of surface rust. I hit it with the wire wheel. It still looks pretty rough, but there's nothing that goes all the way through. It's just surface rust. And let that be a lesson. If you have anything steel that you'd like to preserve, do not leave it lying on the ground for years. This is what happens to it. So I'm going to hit it with some primer, and then I'm going to hit it with some of that undercoating as well. While that undercoating dries, I've been thinking, I'm just in a playful mood today. I don't know why, but I'm thinking it might be fun to paint this a funky color. I mean, that truck is sunburst, sunshine, springtime yellow, something like that. Ford color from 1967. I don't know. I was thinking about painting it white, like a lot of gasoline tanks are. Was thinking about painting it silver, but I don't have any silver paint. And I also have some International Harvester white, a tractor paint, which is sort of an off-white color. I thought about that. I think I'm going to do something different.